So, last recording was the wild card game, and I decided just to play some of the ALDS offline, and then if it had come down to a game where I could have clinched the uh, the series, I would have done it live. But I decided to just do it offline. It's just a lot quicker to play that way sometimes. But here's how the postseason, the 2025 postseason wrapped up. As you can see in the ALDS, lost 3 games to 1 to the Rays. I'll get to more on that in a minute. But how about the small markets here in the AL? The Rays, the Orioles, the Royals, and the A's all making the division series, and then the championship series is 3 out of the 4 teams that are in the real life 2020 championship series. You got the Rays, Braves, and Dodgers. So, anyways, the Oakland A's finally captured a World Series. They they went to the deciding game in every series. Game 5, they beat the Royals in the DS, and then the ALCS, they knocked out the Rays in Game 7, and then knocked out the Braves in Game 7 in the World Series. I actually don't even know, because Billy Beane's not their general manager anymore in real life. I wonder, what do they have him in as that here? Oh, he's with the Braves. Oh. So he went to the Braves in this and ended up as their scouting director. Interesting. And ended up losing to the A's in the World Series. So he still didn't get a ring. This is an okay result for the Orioles from when the season started. A little disappointing, but considering in July sold off a lot of pieces because we were right around 500 and way out of the race, and then we crawled back in it. Not a totally disappointing result, but still haven't won the World Series yet in this sim, and I'm 6 seasons in, right? So a little disappointing. My 2019 rebuild of the Orioles, I think I won 2 World Series in like the first 6 years. So haven't achieved that yet. Plenty of reasons why. But anyways, just to quickly get into how that series went down 2 games to nothing. In Game 1 here, the story really was the bullpen failed me. Keller pitched okay, and then Luke Little, who was my best reliever in the regular season, you're going to notice a theme here. He was not my best reliever in the ALDS. Hitting wise, Dylan Carlson had a great series. He went 2 for 4 in this game, drove in 2 runs. He actually won MVP of the series, even though the team lost the series 3 games to 1. And then Game 2, just the offense just didn't do anything. Pitching was all right. We lost 3-0. Bob Guerin, who I'll get to in a minute, my manager, 2 different times in this game, down 2 or 3-0. I got the leadoff guy on, and he sacrificed the guy over. Not really a big fan of sacrifice bunts to begin with. Really not a big fan of them when you're down multiple runs in a playoff game and you're giving away an out to get a run over that isn't even the tying run. But Guerin's a small ball manager. I still don't understand why he's doing that. And I have to sacrifice bunt on his preferences turned way down. So that was kind of frustrating. But anyway, so Game 2 is looking kind of lifeless. And then Game 3, we came back and won it in extra innings. Trevor Larnach had a walk-off single. What happened in this game? So Dylan Carlson had a huge game. He went 3 for 4. He had 2 doubles. He drove in 4 runs. Larnach had a good game. Rutschman, he was good in this series. He had a couple hits. Asa Lacy didn't pitch all that well. 4 innings, 4 runs. And Luke Little did not take the loss here, but he blew the save. And then we were able to come back and win it. Really pieced together the bullpen here after Lacy was only able to get through 4 innings. And I think he might have faced the first batter of the 5th. So Luke Little, again, struggled. But we got back to within 1 game, and then here in Game 4, in which we were eliminated, went down 4-0 in the first inning. Livian Delgado, my great young starter, who's the number 11 prospect in baseball, gave up 3 home runs in the first inning. I took him out after 2/3 of an inning, but crawled our way back and tied it at 4, and then in the top of the 9th, the Rays hit a 2-run homer and was unable to mount a comeback from there. And as you can see, who gave up the 2-run homer? Luke Little. So we lost 3 games. He took the loss in 2 of them, and he blew the save in our win. Really rough series for him after being one of the best relievers in baseball in the regular season. So as you can see, Delgado, 2/3 inning, 4 runs, pretty disappointing. Mitchell Stone was awesome, 4 1/3. Did not give up a hit. no runs, just walked a guy in 5Ks. So he really held it together and allowed the offense to get back into it. Rutschman, again, a home run in this game. Larnack had a home run and went 3 for 4. So Ryan Mountcastle was really MIA in the series. As you can see, 143 postseason batting average. Other than that, some guys were okay. No one was really terrible, but no huge efforts out of guys beyond the guys I already mentioned. Carlson was great. Larnack had a great last 2 games, and Rutschman was solid. But in the end, the bullpen failed me, and the bullpen was kind of what I dismantled when it looked like I was possibly out of the race. So I was relying on young guys, but it was a lot of young guys who performed really well in the regular season, but didn't in the postseason. So disappointing, but we got to the playoffs, and then playoffs can be tricky because it's such a small sample, and the Rays are probably the better team though, so deserved win. But then one thing that happened after the season is, as you can see, I don't have a manager anymore because Bob Guerin retired. So I'm going to have to pretty quickly hire a new manager. There are a few out there that I'd like to consider, but all of them have issues that I don't necessarily love. So if we go to the managers, and just reputation isn't necessarily what you want to sort by, but it's a good way to gauge who's out there. Robin Ventura is the best manager out there. He's been the Padres manager and won the World Series the last 2 years. I'm sorry, won the World Series and made it to the World Series 2 years in a row, 23 and 24, and I guess they ended up not keeping him. I'm concerned because it says for whatever reason he has a poor track record when it comes to pitching staffs. His relationships and influence are bad on pitchers. This is what Brandon Hyde was too, and my pitching really struggled, although my pitching has just struggled in general in this game in Camden Yards. It's been really difficult in Out of the Park 21, more so than any other Out of the Park game I've played. Camden Yards is just killing my pitching, and it's really been, I think, why I've made the playoffs 3 straight years, but haven't been able to advance to a World Series yet. So anyways, now it'll get into the off season, and I'll do an episode on the off season planning and go into more detail on the roster. Probably gonna, it's getting to be an interesting time because I have a bunch of guys who are getting more expensive. Some guys who are entering arbitration, some guys who are a year or 2 away from free agency. So I have a bunch of decisions to make of who I'm going to commit to long term, or who I'm going to trade, etc. So it'll be the next episode. But that's it for the 2025 season. The O's go down in the ALDS to the Rays.